And we have breaking news out of Malaysia. Malaysian Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin has announced a nationwide lockdown to curb the spread of COVID-19 in the country. It will take...
What is unemployment? Unemployment is a term referring to an individual who are employable and seeking a job but are unable to find a job. Labour force. The labour force is defined as people from the total population above 16 years of age who are not in any institution and who are either employed or unemployed but actively seeking for a job. Full employment. Full employment is the situation in which all the working labour force is employed to produce goods and services. Full employment does not mean zero unemployment or refer to 100% of working labour force. Unemployed. The unemployed are people who are registered as able, available, and willing to work at the going wage rate but who cannot find work despite an active search of work. Underemployment. Underemployment is a term used to describe those who take on part-time job below their capability but are seeking full-time employment. People with education and skill accept unskilled job rather than remain unemployed. Discouraged worker. A discouraged worker is an individual who wants to work but has been unsuccessful for a long period of time in finding a job and who has consequently given up on seeking for a job. Discouraged worker would like to work if job prospects are good. Part-time worker versus full-time worker. Part-time worker are those who work less than 35 hours a week, but full-time worker are those who work 35 hours or more in a week.
The formula for unemployment rate is number of unemployed person divided by labour force. The labour force is the sum of unemployed and employed person. By dividing the number of individuals whom are unemployed by labour force, you find the labour force participation or employment rate.
Types of unemployment. There are 4 types of unemployment. The first one is frictional unemployment. This occurs when individuals start to seek employment or change job. The search process, which involves finding a suitable job, requires some time. This type of unemployment is not caused by inability to obtain a job, but to desire to find a better job. For example, many workers change jobs because they want a better rewards. In the process of changing job, they may have to be unemployed for a while before obtaining a new job. Such unemployment cannot be avoided and is known as a short-term or temporary unemployment. Second is cyclical unemployment. This is caused by change in the level of economic activities. When the economic activity faces a recession, firms will reduce their production activities. Consequently, the working hours of the labor force will be reduced or limited. Some production machines will not be utilized and some labor force will be laid off. Thus, economic recession will increase the total unemployment as a result of a great plunge in aggregate demand. Third is structural unemployment. This is caused by a change in the economic structure, which occurs when an economic sector becomes less important than others. This results in the workers of the sector having to be laid off because their skills do not match the need for workers in the expanding sector. For example, economic growth in the long term will increase the role of the manufacturing sector and reduce agriculture and mining activities. Thus, demand for labor force for the agriculture and mining sector will be reduced. The last one is seasonal unemployment. Seasonal unemployment is caused by a change in the season which affects certain sectors, such as fisheries and agriculture. For example, during rainy season, most fishermen and rubber tappers are unable to work. This will lead to an increase in the rate of unemployment in those sectors.
Effect of unemployment to the country. First, exploitations of labor. Due to unemployment, laborers are exploited. They have to accept low wages and work under unfavorable conditions. 2. Industrial dispute. Industrial dispute arise because of unemployment. It has adverse effect on employer-employee relation. Due to industrial dispute, the employment rise. 3. Political instability. There is political instability in the country due to unemployment. Unemployed persons enrage themselves in discretive activities. They consider government worthless. Economic develops become difficult under conditions of political instability. Number 4. Social problem. Many social evils like dishonesty, gambling, and immoralities and others arise due to unemployment. It endangers law and order situations of the country. It causes social disruptions in the society. 5. Increase in poverty. Under the situations of unemployment, a man has no source of income. Unemployment causes poverty. Burdens of debt increase. Economic problems increase. 6. Loss of human resources. Due to unemployment, human resources go waste. No constructive use of labor force is made. If human resources are properly used, economic growth of the country will increase. 7. Ruin the economic growth. High employment rate will ruin the economic growth and performance. Unemployment in the economy is not conducive for the investment because firm has excess production capacity and capital goods and equipment that the firm has abundance or not fully utilized during the recessions. Therefore, new investment is needed to increase output. The low level of aggregate spending in an economy, recessions reduce the desires investors to make investment. Lack of the investments in the economy reduce the economic growth. Slow economic growth and low output will lead to further depressions. The high rate of unemployment and sluggish activities of firms will result in a reduction in their profit. The low profit will reduce the eagerness of investors to make new investment.
Okay, today I'm going to talk about the effects of unemployment to the individual. The first point is loss of livelihood and income. Unemployment causes loss of income to individuals. For countries with no unemployment insurance program, individuals must rely on past savings or borrow from relatives and friends to survive. This will affect their lives because they are unable to have a stable income, causing hardship, aggravating tensions in family relationships, and creating various types of family problems like divorce and arguments. The second point is loss of job skills. Some skills can only be maintained if they are used or practiced often. Long-term unemployment might cause the skills of an individual to deteriorate. Retraining and educating them may prove expensive, causing the loss of competitiveness at an international level. As a result, local products cannot compete with the cheaper and better quality foreign products. The third point is loss of confidence. a job will erode the confidence of the labor force. Unemployed people may also experience depression because the knowledge and skills acquired from education institutions cannot be used to make a living to support themselves and their families. In short, unemployment has important social costs: unequal income, diminished social cohesion, loss of status, alienation and frustration. The fourth point is harms future prospects. Those who are unemployed will find it more difficult to get work in future. Okay, the last point is satisfaction consequence of unemployment. The immediate consequences of unemployment are usually a reduced income and an increased amount of time spent in non-labor market activities such as leisure. Consequently, the satisfaction level regarding income decreases and with respect to leisure time it increases. Concerning the satisfaction level with main vocational activity, unemployment tends to have negative psychological consequences, including the loss of identity and self-esteem, increased stress from family and social pressures, along with greater future uncertainty with respect to labor market status. The satisfaction level with the financial situation of unemployed workers depends positively on other income sources, such as income-yielding assets, savings, and unemployment benefits. It depends negatively on the opportunity cost in terms of foregone earnings. The higher the alternative income and the lower the opportunity cost, the smaller the drop in financial satisfaction will be.
As we all know, unemployment has become one of the major problems facing our society today. It is like a cancer that has eaten deep into our society, thereby inhibiting our progress. Measure to overcome unemployment in measure: fiscal policy, monetary policy, direct control policy. So, let me start with fiscal policy. First, increase government expenditure. Increase government expenditure by creating more development projects which will increase aggregate demand via the multiplier effects. Production will increase, reducing the cyclical unemployment. Second is decrease taxes. Decrease in taxes such as a reduction in excise tax, service tax, or corporate tax will increase the consumption of goods and services, as also in-depth investment has aggregate demand will increase and production. Next is monetary policy. Firstly is open market operation. The central bank buys government securities, short-term bonds or treasury bills in the open market from the public to increase money supply, hence consumption. Investment will increase, increasing aggregate demand and production and reducing cyclical unemployment. Secondly is lowering the base bank rate. The central bank lowers the bank rate and hence it may loan less costly to borrow. Anything firm will increase investment. Lastly is direct control policy, providing training and technical education. The aim is to give the long-term unemployed new skills which enable them to find jobs in developing industries. It's done my part about measures to overcome unemployment. Thank you for lending your ears.